So we'll discuss about Power Query today. So
Yeah.
So basically, as I was saying yesterday, the first step in data preparation process is Power Query layer. Okay, this one. So basically, what we are trying to do here, we are preparing the data for the Power BI. Eventually, we'll use that to have a reports. Okay, so there are a couple of different activities we do at this layer. Okay, that is what we're going to check today.
Architecture diagram ఏం కనిపించట్లా if we are sharing
ఏం బ్లాక్ స్క్రీన్ ఉందా?
లూసిడ్ అదంతా అంతే. రీసెంట్ డాక్యుమెంట్స్ కనిపిస్తుంది. టెంప్లెట్స్ అని
అది ఓపెన్ అవ్వలేదా? ఇప్పుడు ఏమవుతుంది? ఓపీ ఇవ్వబడుతుందా?
లేదు, సేమ్ అదే వెబ్ పేజ్ ఉంది లూసిడ్ యాప్.
ఇప్పుడు స్లో ఉంటుంది ఇంటర్నెట్. Let me stop and reshare. Share. Okay. ఇప్పుడు పోబీ ఏర్పడుతుందా?
లేదు ఇంకా.
ఇప్పుడు జూమ్ స్క్రీన్ అవపడుతుందా?
ఇప్పుడు జూమ్ స్క్రీన్ కనిపిస్తుంది.
ఓకే, ఇప్పుడు
పవర్ బిఐ డెస్క్టాప్ కనిపిస్తుంది.
అదే మీ ఇంటర్నెట్ ప్రాబ్లం అనుకుంటా. ఓకే, ఫైన్. ఓకే, ఇప్పుడు లూసిడ్ లో ఆక్టివ్ అవబడుతుందా? ఓకే, సంథింగ్ హ్యాపెన్. ఓకే, so as I was discussing yesterday, the first step in data preparation is via Power Query. So here we have few operations which helps us modify some of the data and prepare it for the reporting. See, all these things, creating the dashboard and the stuff, we will say is as a reporting actually. Because what are we doing with this dashboard? We are reporting some kind of analytics for some kind of some manager or someone, right? So all these things are called reports because we are reporting it to someone. Okay, so let's go to our Power BI desktop. So on the first class, we discussed about this, right? Filters, visuals, data. Okay, now let me not saved it. Okay, fine. Recent connections. Okay, in Power BI, basically what you can do is there is a recent connection option. So with that, you can connect basically. Let me show you. So if you see recent data sources, okay, So this is a data source which we have connected a couple of days ago, right? So again, I don't have to enter the username and password. It remembers. So if I click it, it will connect now. Okay. That is one of the option we have. So in this connection, now let me select this AdventureWorks. So I wanted to connect the movie database, but I didn't. From tomorrow, we will see in the movie database. But for now, for this class, let's go with this selection itself. Okay. So in this now, I'll go. Okay, for our interaction, this 3 is enough. So there are 2 options here. If you see, one is load, one is transform. You are seeing my cursor, right? Yeah. The dot. Okay. So one is transform and one is load. So load will just load the data. Okay. So again, you have 2 options: import or direct query. As I was saying on the day. So direct query is the one, it just makes the connection every time. It will go to the database. So direct query reports are slower in performance. Okay. We'll generally do the import option so that all the data will be imported, and then we can work on it. But for development wise, both are kind of same for us, but because it's not the data connection we are interested in, right? We are designing and configuring the report first of all. Okay. So let's click. Yeah. Now it's loading the tables. So we have just said load. Because of that, the data is tables are here, and we have brought to the Power BI desktop screen. But instead, if you would have clicked transform there, the only difference is it will open here. Okay. And then we'll be in this screen, so that it's expecting for us to transform this data. Okay. So how do we transform this? So I said this, today we'll discuss about Power Query. Okay. So yesterday, if you remember, where is that Power Query window? Do you guys remember? Okay, I'll delete. So in here, if you see this 3 button, you see edit query, right? Where is the hand is there? So currently, this query, whatever we are seeing, this is very important to know. Okay. So output of a Power Query is actually a table. Okay. All the operations we have done will be exposed, and the output of that operations is actually a table. Okay. So when we initially imported the table, it is making some default query option. Select that table, show. That's it. It's not doing anything else. But still, it's a think like someone might have already created this Power Query for us, but it is automatic. So we are editing that automatically generated query actually. Edit query. So now we are in a that thing. See, if you see here, Power Query Editor in the top. See my cursor where it is. Okay, Power Query Editor. So for Power Query Editor for what? We're editing Power Query Editor for this SLLT address. Now we are editing SL customer. Now we are editing SL customer address. Okay, let's put SLT sales LT address. Okay. So I told you, right? So this Power Query already which we are seeing is pre-built automatically. Okay. So what are the pre-built steps automatically it had done? One is source. See, if you see this one, so it actually connected to the source. You see the logic, this is the mashup language, SQL dot database and the connection name. Okay. And then the next step is navigation. It has went. If you go here again, it's selecting in the schema sales LT and item the address table. So this is the way it is writing in the mashup language. Okay. So for any table which you connect, it already written 2 queries for you to show a minimum table perspective. Why? Because this is a general expectation, right? Anyone would want this, first of all. Even though if they don't want any changes in this with the query, at least would want this one. So by default, this is like this. Okay. Okay. So now you see what are the changes we can perform here. Okay. So if you go here in the home, you have lots of options. Enter data, manage parameters, properties, advanced data, right? So we'll go major things what people use this for. Okay. And again, now Microsoft is doing lots of stuff here. Okay. So they are making this so powerful. They're blending everything here. And just 10 minutes back, I was surprised what they're trying to do here. Lots of new options has came actually. The new features, what we can do with this data. Like you see, you can run a Python script now. That's interesting. Okay. And there are lots of stuff here. Okay. But majorly in the actual work, what we do, I'll tell. But if you are proficient of all these things, actually you can use this for much more purposes. Okay. So most of the times, what people will do is one thing. See, now you have this city, right? You can filter it like. Yep. Any question? Okay. So city is there, right? So I don't want to see Albany or Alhambra on my data. Okay. That is not required for my report. Let's say this is actual data. Generally, no one will do that. Let's think there is nulls in this and empty spaces in this. Okay. So for this activity, it would have been better if I selected a very bad data. Yesterday, I was saying, here I have written percentages, if you remember. If the database is modeled properly, you would need only 5% of the time you will be spending on the Power Query. Why? Because data is already clean for you. Otherwise, if the data is very bad, then you would spend 80% of your time here only. In the same way, because this is a proper sample sales database from Azure sample data, right? So it has a clean data. But in the real data, assume like instead of this, you have these nulls here and some dollar signs here or spaces here. At the time, what I will do, I'll uncheck them and click OK. Okay. So now this view, whatever you are seeing, sales LT address, is not actually just selecting source and navigating to the database. There is another definition to it that is called filtered rows. Okay. So 3 steps have applied after you made connection. The one what you are seeing here is actually after those 3 definitions of configuration. Okay. So we can check here what is this step also. If I click here, see, this is how it's resolved. It's a basic filter. Do not equal to el segundo. That may be space or something in real scenarios. Cancel. Yeah. Okay. So now what we have to do is, once we are done with this, we'll go in detail other things also. I just want you to show end-to-end approach first. If I go to home, what I have to do is close and apply. Yep. I closed and applied it. So now this data, what you are seeing here in this table, it doesn't have that else, whatever the filter we have done. Okay. Clear, right? Yeah. So the moment now, yeah, Naresh.
Yeah, city లేదు కదా ఇప్పుడు ఉందనా ఎల్
ఉండదు ఆ సిటీ ఉండదు.
ఓకే
But now for further operations, for modeling kani, for reporting kani, this is our definition of the table, not the actual table. This definition is modified with our queries actually now. Of course, our queries could drag and drop like select chestunam manam rayaledu. If you want, we can write it also. Okay.
Yeah.
This is what when I was saying the output of Power Query is a table actually. That's when the actual story starts. So this is like a pre-processing step, what we are trying to do. Okay. So you are clear at this step, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So now let's go into it and make more changes. And what else we can do? We'll do. Okay. Edit query again. Yes. And you got this window. So see, the 3 steps are there. Basically, people will not pay attention here, but as a good developer practice, what you can do is you can rename this. Okay, rename, and we should give a business context like avoiding nulls or removing spaces. So when tomorrow, after you left the company, if someone else is coming, so if they open this Power BI dashboard, it's more meaningful to them, right? Okay, they selected the source, they clear the nulls. You get the point?
Yeah.
So
and even otherwise, you can we can click on the settings and we can see what is the query, right?
Exactly, you can see it. You can see it. So there is a difference in reverse engineering and understanding and putting properly, right? If someone opens this, immediately they can understand. They don't even have to click it, right?
Yeah, yeah,
yeah. So now there is another thing. Okay, so here this is the one step we added, which is what filtering. Okay, so if I click here now, there is a view native query. Okay, if I click on the view native query, this is the mashup language. So what it is doing, if you see, select open bracket underscore close bracket. This part is referring to the previous step. Okay, and from that previous step, what it is saying is select this filter where city not equal to. This is kind of a SQL, but it's a mashup kind of SQL language. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you go to navigation and select the native query,
we'll select 3 tables from the.
Yes. See, dollar table, and this dollar table is a reference to the previous step again.
Yeah.
Okay. So basically, if you are good with a mashup query writing, you can write it here itself. But this has made easy for us by using dragging, dropping, and doing like this.
This navigation, what we are seeing, is only for address table. Okay, and it is different for again customer.
Exactly. You're right. You're right. So in the right side, see, we are in the Power Query editor. Okay, in the Power Query editor, which table we are editing? So let's okay. Let's correct our understanding itself. This is not a table. Think this is a query. You see, there are 3 queries. In this specific query, at the source level, we have a table.
Okay.
Okay. Source and navigation. In here, you navigate to customer. Okay. But because generally, whenever is navigating customer, that will be our actual table in the database. Then they would end up having the name here, right? That's the reason it's automatically created like that. Okay. But even this I can update. See, I'm changing it to instead of LT customer, test customer.
And it will reflect on Power BI desktop as well, right?
Yes, everywhere it will reflect. Everywhere it will reflect. Okay, I updated it. Okay, so you see, it changed already. Test customer. So this is a view actually. That's what I was saying. Everything you do Power Query is a table. That's what it will be visible to into the downstream systems for Power Pivot or modeling or even reporting. Okay. That's the reason it's actually, so now you are in the Power Query editor. There are three views for you. Sales LD address. I don't know what is the table from the database being used. I'll only come to know once I see this details actually. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh. So, okay.
You were talking about native query. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Emanara. Always hello.
No. నేటివ్ క్వెరీ గురించి చెప్తున్నప్పుడు నేను టాపిక్ డివైడ్ చేసిన మళ్ళీ అక్కడికి పాయింట్ చేస్తున్నాను.
Okay. Yeah. కొంచెం let me close it. Right side లో మనకి ఆ వ్యూ steps view వచ్చేది కదా, అది వెళ్ళిపోయింది.
Okay.
We just have to enable it somewhere. Column profile. Okay, we'll close it and open. That may be some kind of setting. Not now. Okay. Edit query. Okay, very good. I closed it myself. Cross key case పోయింది కదా. Okay, fine. So, but flow-based, you are clear now, right? So we are writing some kind of query, and they're going to be perfect. Okay, now these are the steps, and also we have seen the native query for each of the steps, right? We can see complete query starting from the database, including all these steps here. There is AdWords editor. This is a complete query. Okay. So generally, what do we do is, once you get more comfortable with this stuff, so you have this table, okay, and you want to use exact same table, but you want to just filter something. Okay, at that time you will copy this completely, Control C, and you will create a new table and you will paste it there. So automatically all the steps will come, and then you will add whatever changes you want, because you don't want to update the existing view. Okay. For example, I can show you the example. So advanced editor. I can copy, cancel, new table. Where is the new table? Can you see anywhere new table?
New source, new recent sources, enter data.
New query. Maybe it will be new query. New query is not here.
Enter data.
Okay, enter. Not enter data is to enter. I'll tell you why that is. New source.
New query.
Okay, new query. New query is here. See, when I hold on this window, it's a new query came. Okay, I selected a new query. New query, blank query. Okay. Okay, remove this. I'll tell you this later. Delete. Yeah, I've seen an option here. So if I select this, there is an option called duplicate, right? Duplicate. I duplicated it. Okay, now this is a new Vitess customer _2. Okay, So now we have copied the definition from sales LT address, right? If I change this here, yes, I change this definition. So why I'm trying to do this is just to make sure this is just a view. Whatever we write the definition, it will be there. This is not a database stuff. Okay. So now you see we are selecting sales LT in the third line. If you see, I click done. No errors. Then there is no errors. Syntax errors if there, it will show here. This part will show. Okay. So I'll click done. See, now you got, if you see the right side steps, source, navigation, and avoiding nulls. So this test customer 2, even though it's get duplicate from test customer, it's actually nothing but sales LT address for us. Is that clear?
Yeah.
Okay. So having that said, now we'll go to major things what people would do, but it has lots of more potential also. Okay. Majorly, we'll combine the columns, we'll split the columns. For example, let's say this is address line. This address line, split column. How you want to split? You want to split by the positions or by the delimiter? Let's say I want to split by delimiter. Delimiter means generally when you are splitting anything, how you want to split? Whenever the space comes, it's a new column. Whenever comma comes, it's a new column. That's a thing basically. Okay. So exact occurrences of the delimiter. The occurrences is special character. I'll put none means it will not happen. Let me go to advanced options. Number of columns to split into 7. Okay. And then the delimiter is space. It's already there here. Okay. It can be colon. It can be anything. If you write custom, then you can give custom also. Whenever Pranit appears, it will delete. It will make into 2 columns. Okay. But let's go with the space only. Space. Yep. Now you see this address line is broken down to address line 1, address line 2, address line 3, 873, your SMITE, CT. You see, now we have 3 columns extra. Then it was before just 1 column. And you got this one more step, split column by delimiter. Is it clear?
Yeah.
Okay. So once after you split, it automatically added one more step called changed type. Why? Because every column is already, it's assigned some, whether it's a number, it's a ABC, just if you see here, see in this one, ABC, it's a text. Okay. If it is a number, it will show 1, 2, 3. Okay. So because you have splitted the columns, you got more columns now. Then it's analyze what is the data type of the column. When we say data type of the column, we'll say whether it's a number, whether it's a decimal number, whether it's a text, all those stuff. Okay. So one thing I want you to pay attention here is the order of steps. Okay. So the order of steps has a meaning to it. For example, source and navigation has to be always in the first. Okay. So whatever the operation you are doing, for example, now you are doing like splitting or something. So it will always go into the right order. It doesn't matter how you started them. The change type should be will come always in the last. You get the point. So the steps will be realigned to match what you are expecting to see here. For example, let's say now I added use first row as header. Use first row as header. Okay. See, now what does this mean is first row as header. This is the database table we have. Okay, but generally, for example, if you are getting the data from Excel, in the Excel data, first row will be columns, right? So now we are telling change that first row into a headers. If you see the column names, this is Yosemite, CT, column name. You understood this change, right? But we don't need that change. Then I will remove it. Okay. So wherever this is this, see, now again change everything. Why? Because the moment you change the column, it's trying to analyze the column again. Okay. So let me remove this, promote headers. Let it be, it's okay. Okay, and now, so I will go through the major transformations, generally what we do. Remove columns is one, okay? Remove column. Remove columns, you see? This is what I was saying. The change type is the last step. The removed columns was the last activity we have done, but it moved to after the promoting headers. This is what when I said the ordering will be based on how it is correct actually. So now what we did, we removed one column here. We can see the, what is it?
Native query?
Native query is not there here. Okay. Let me try one more time. Let's say I'm removing Yosemite, okay? Remove. Remove columns. Okay. Are you sure you want to insert a step? Inserting an intermediate step. Okay. Let me put it here. Yosemite, remove columns, insert. Okay, that column is removed if you see. Okay.
Yeah.
But somehow I'm not seeing insert extra previous diagnosis, maybe properties. And I want to see the definition.
Final చూపిస్తుంది table dot remove columns of CT and a table Yosemite.
Right. So basically it doesn't have a much detailed configuration. So it's showing in the formula bar itself.
Yeah.
If you go to other places for nulls, if you see, we got that like this. I was expecting something like this, but yeah, you're right. So this information is basic enough. So it's showing on the formula bar itself. Yeah, good catch now. Okay. So this is remove columns is one. Okay, and next, use first row as header. This will use mostly for the Excel kind of sources. Okay, and then go to transform. So this is the basic one. Then you are coming to the transform. So transform is the one we are transforming the data actually. Okay, something like yep.
First row ఎందుకు delete చేసి అంటే table description on like columns అన్ని తీసేసి first row ఎందుకు promote చేసే అవసరం వస్తుంది?
So whenever you have an Excel, okay, in the Excel, if you see, this is the actual data coming from the SQL server. Okay, SQL server lo a problem ledu. Okay, SQL server data only data vastadi. A column names already it's a metadata. Okay. Kani when you import an Excel as your source, Excel lo first column is the headers.
Yeah.
If it were an Excel source, generally we'll convert the first column into we'll promote it to a headers. Instead of writing, okay, first column Yosemite, I don't want to rename every column, right? Instead of renaming every column and removing the first row, so I can remove the row actually, first row, okay. So for example, yeah, remove rows. Otherwise, what I should have done, I have to rename all the columns. Other columns will be A, B, C, D, E. Remove all the columns and then remove the first row also. Instead of that, we have this automated option.
Okay.
It will remove this row and rename the column names. If it is Excel source.
Okay.
Yeah.
So only Excel అలాంటి ప్రాబ్లం ఉంటది కదా, వేరే వాటితో ఏముండదు.
Excel అనే యూస్ ఫస్ట్ రా సెటర్స్ అనేది ఓన్లీ ఎక్సెల్ డేటాకే ఉంటుంది, డేటాబేస్ టేబుల్స్ ఉండదు. ఓకే, Excel గానీ XM, whatever other kind of databases where we have that problem, which is only Excel as of now, or text also. Sometimes if you are using CSV or text, there also the first line may be a header.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then transform. If you go to transform, see now what do we have? Rename is also one of the major thing what we do. We rename the column names. Okay, that is okay. And pivot a column. Okay, so when we are saying pivot, you know pivoting, right? Yes. So when we say pivot, and now regular terminology is not the Power Pivot of Power BI. That's the difference. The Power Pivot is like a BI tool. But in general, as Excel terminology, what is pivot? You are pivoting something and making it run basically. For example, you pivoted and you have just some thread. So if it will revolve around, it will follow this path, right? Instead, it should have followed straight path. This is called, we say, pivoting. That's a dictionary meaning. We pivot something. In the data also, what we are doing is, this is the rows. Okay, you are pivoting your data across this column. For example, this is cycles, this is bus, this is car. So this will become your column: cycle, bus, and column. So you are pivoting your data, which means you are converting rows to columns or columns to rows. That is major thing basically when we are saying we are pivoting. Okay, so remove, delete screenshot. Okay. So here also we have pivoting options. Let's see if let's pivot a simple column. I'll go to sales address. So let's say we will pivot country, because it has only 2-3 entries possibly, right? 2 entries only. Okay, why I'm selecting only few values in the column is, otherwise you will end up having huge number of columns, right? So I wanted to pivot a country column. Okay, pivot column. Okay, so values from address area, values from, what is this, country region, country region,
state, province.
But country region ఉంది ఇక్కడ country region లేదు.
Row guide, postal code కంటే ముందు.
Okay, use the names in the column region, create new columns. So it's asking value column. Okay, so when you are converting these 2 columns, in the values, what you want to show? Okay, this needs some explanation.
Okay. Yeah.
So for example, let's say this is a table. Okay, USA, India, and China. Okay, when you are pivoting, this is converting to like this. USA, India, China. Remaining all things stay as equal. Okay, remaining, let's say this is A, B, C, D. ABC అట్లే ఉంటాయి ఇంకా. ఓకే, దాన్ని నువ్వు మార్చలే, ఓన్లీ ఈ కాలం ను మార్చావు, C, D. ఇప్పుడు ఈ కాలం ఇటు వచ్చడం వల్ల ఇక్కడ కొత్త సెల్స్ క్రియేట్ అయినాయి. అవునా?
Hmm.
వాట్ యు వాంట్ ఇన్ దోస్ సెల్స్ అని అడుగుతుంది అది. You get the point?
Yeah.
రిమైనింగ్ ఆల్ ద కాలమ్స్ సేమ్ ఉన్నాయి. ఇది ఒక్కదాన్ని నువ్వు కాలమ్ మార్చున్నావు. ఈ యూఎస్ వచ్చేసి ఇక్కడ యూఎస్ వచ్చింది, ఇది వచ్చేసి ఇక్కడ వచ్చింది, ఇది వచ్చేసి ఇక్కడ వచ్చింది. అవునా? సో యూ గాట్ క్రియేటెడ్ దోస్ మెనీ ఎంప్టీ సెల్స్ కదా.
Right. Yeah.
ఇట్స్ ఆస్కింగ్ వాట్ ఈస్ దట్, అక్కడ నేనేం ఫిల్ చేయాలి అని అడుగుతుంది. దిస్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ వాల్యూ యాక్చువల్లీ. ఓకే, ఇట్స్ ఆస్కింగ్ వాట్ వాల్యూ టు ఫిల్ అప్.
Okay.
జనరల్లీ థింక్ అబౌట్ దిస్. పివోటింగ్ మనం ఎప్పుడు చేస్తాం అంటే ఓకే, స్క్రీన్ షాట్. పివోటింగ్ మనం ఎప్పుడు చేస్తాం అంటే USA, India, China. Okay, and this is country. Okay, this is header. Okay, ఇక్కడ సేల్స్ ఉందనుకుందాం 123, 145, 236. పివోటింగ్ చేసినప్పుడు the purpose of your pivoting is you want to see that value actually. Okay, ఇక్కడ let's say Asia, Africa continents ఉన్నాయి అనుకుందాం ఇక్కడ. ఓకే, సో వెన్ యూ పివోటెడ్ ఈస్ బేసికల్లీ హౌ యూ వాంట్ టు సీ ఏషియాకి, ఓకే, ఆఫ్రికాకి, ఇక్కడ యుఎస్ఏ, ఇండియా, చైనా, ఈ 123 ఎడికి పోతుంది, ఇక్కడికి వస్తుంది. ఈ 145 ఎడికి వెళ్తుంది, ఇక్కడికి వెళ్తుంది. 236 వెళ్తుంది, ఇక్కడికి వెళ్తుంది. ఓకే, ఆఫ్రికా కంట్రీస్ అంటే అవి ఇక్కడికి వస్తాయి. సో బేసికల్లీ ఏం చేస్తాం మనం, ద డెఫినేషన్ ఆఫ్ ద టేబుల్ మార్చాం. ఈ వాల్యూ ఇక్కడ వస్తుంది, ఇప్పుడు ఈ వాల్యూ ఇక్కడ వస్తుంది, క్లీనా, ఈ వాల్యూ ఇక్కడ వస్తుంది. దట్ ఇస్ వాట్ పివోటింగ్. ఓకేనా? సో జనరల్లీ we do this pivoting if we want to see the data in a different perspective, and that is always regarding a value column. That's why it is saying as a value column. Okay, delete screenshot. Okay, so now when I say pivot, okay, it's asking what is the value column you want to pivot with. Let me say modified date this from the modified date. Okay, okay, because it's not a value, it's erroring out. Let me close this and let's see first of all what is the value things here. Delete. Okay, address ID, okay, let's say address ID is there. Address ID only numbers to what we'll try this. Okay. Pivot column. Okay, sorry, it's an address ID. City pivot column. So to change this, what we are selecting, I'm selecting that column first. Okay, so that you are applying pivot on that column and address ID. Okay, you cannot apply pivot operation over a table that contains column with a nested data. Please remove those columns first. Okay, nested columns. Okay, delete. What it is saying is there are nested columns. For example, see, this is the nested column. Okay. If I expand this, you'll get those columns here. Okay. So as I was saying, this source and navigation was automatically generated. So it assumes something and it created. Now this is another nested column. What we can do is we can delete it just for our example. Delete.
So we cannot do a pivot on a table which has a nested columns. This is one thing.
Obviously, right? Maybe because that is not your complete definition. You are on a hierarchical level.
ఇవన్నీ ఎట్లా అసలు ఇందులోకి
ఏవన్నీ
ఈ వేరే నెస్టెడ్ టేబుల్ నెస్టెడ్ కాలమ్స్
సో మనం ఎప్పుడైతే దీన్ని SQL సర్వర్ డేటాబేస్ కనెక్ట్ చేసామో ది సోర్స్ నావిగేషన్ ఈజ్ ఆటోమేటికల్లీ టేకెన్. ఓకే, తీసుకొని బై సమ్ అండర్స్టాండింగ్ ఇట్ ఈస్ డూయింగ్ దట్. ఓకే, సో నౌ వి రిమూవ్ ద కాలమ్స్. ఆ 3 వెళ్ళిపోయాయి. ఇప్పుడు ఇందులో ఏమున్నాయి? ఓన్లీ డేటా కాలమ్స్ ఉన్నాయి చూడు. ఓకే, so this is actually kind of an issue. Sometimes what as I say, this is not actual straight table insert, right? It is automatically analyzing it and doing it somehow. Okay, so it grouped some of the columns because of their style or whatever it is. See, table ani idani address id ani chesindi. So but it's wrong actually. Okay, now we remove them. Now only we have few columns. Okay, now let me create a country region Power Query. Where is it? Transform, pivot, insert. See, now it added. Okay, you see Canada, United States. ఈ 105 ఎక్కడిది? యాక్చువల్లీ అడ్రస్ ఐడి. ఇంత ముందు ఇక్కడ ఉండే మనకి. ఓకే, అడ్రస్ ఐడి కాస్త ఇళ్ళకి వచ్చేసింది. క్లియర్? ఓకేనా? 3 కొత్త కాలమ్స్ వచ్చినాయి మనకి. 3 కొత్త కాలమ్స్ వచ్చేసి అడ్రస్ ఐడి రో ఒకటి, అడ్రస్ ఐడి కాలమ్ ఒకటి ఇలా పడిపోయింది. ఇక్కడ పడిపోయినప్పుడు ఈ 2 నల్స్ వచ్చినాయి. ఓకే, ఇక్కడ పడిపోయినప్పుడు ఈ 2 నల్స్ వచ్చినాయి. ఇక్కడ పడిపోయి ఈ 2 నల్స్ వచ్చినాయి.
బికాస్ అక్కడ ఐడి ఉన్నప్పుడు బిఫోర్ దిస్ ట్రాన్స్ఫర్మేషన్ ఐడి ఉన్నప్పుడు కంట్రీ వచ్చేసి యునైటెడ్ స్టేట్స్ అనే వాల్యూ ఉండేది. లైక్ ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఫస్ట్ రోలో 1054 ఉంది. సో 1054 అనే అడ్రస్ ఐడికి కంట్రీ యునైటెడ్ స్టేట్స్ ఉంది కాబట్టి దాన్ని ఇక్కడ రీఅసైన్ చేసుకున్నది. మిగతా నల్స్ అని, అంతేనా?
ఎస్ మిగతా నల్స్ అని. ఓకే, సో ఇప్పుడు జనరల్ పివోటింగ్ ఎందుకు చేస్తాం అంటే మనం ఇప్పుడు నేను సమ్అప్ చేస్తా. ఓకే, ఏం సమ్అప్ చేస్తా? దర్ ఇస్ ఏ సమ్మింగ్ ఆప్షన్ ఆల్సో. వ్యూ, యాడ్ కాలమ్స్, ట్రాన్స్పోర్ట్, అగ్రిగేట్. గ్రూప్ ఇక్కడ ఉంది చూడు, గ్రూప్ ఉంది. నేను గ్రూప్ బై ఇన్సర్ట్ చేశాను అనుకో. ఓకే, గ్రూప్ బై ఇన్సర్ట్. సో గ్రూప్ బై అడ్రస్ లైన్ చేసేసి కౌంట్ అండ్ కాలమ్ ఆర్ సమ్ ఆఫ్ మన కెనడా. ఓకేనా? సో ఇప్పుడు ఇది ఏం చేస్తుంది చూడు, ఆ కెనడా అన్ని సమ్ చేస్తుంది బేసికలీ. ఓకే, సో సమ్ చేసినప్పుడు ఈ కాలంలో నేను పివోట్ చేసి ఉండకపోతే ఏమయ్యేది? యుఎస్ఏ, కెనడా అవన్నీ సమ్ చేసేది. ఇప్పుడు ఏం చేసిన? ఓన్లీ కెనడా ఒకటే సమ్ చేయగలను నేను, ఎందుకంటే అది వేరే కాలంలో వేసుకున్నా కాబట్టి. ఓకే, సో పివోటింగ్ is majorly used like that. When you pivot it and you sum across the rows, basically now you are getting only for that. I mean, ఇది అడ్రస్ కాబట్టి ఇట్లుంది, బట్ ఇఫ్ ఇస్ ద సేల్స్ then it makes more sense కదా. సో ఇది ఒక పివోటింగ్ వాట్ చేస్తాం మనం.
వేరే వాల్యూస్ చూపిస్తుంది అకౌంట్ లో 497
నల్. ఇప్పుడు ఇది మనం ఏమన్నాం? గ్రూప్ అన్నాం రా. గ్రూప్ అంటే ఏంటి? సెలెక్ట్ దట్ కాలమ్ గ్రూప్ బై చేస్తాం కదా. ఓకే, సంథింగ్ లైక్ దిస్. ఓకే, ఆ కాలమ్ ని సమ్ చేస్తున్నావు నువ్వు, గ్రూప్ బై చేస్తున్నావు, గ్రూప్ బై అడ్రస్ ఐడి చేసినాం, దాన్ని సమ్ చేసినాం. ఓకేనా? ఆ సమ్ ఏం చేసినాం? మనమే క్రియేట్ చేసిన కాలమ్ చేసినాం. మనం పివోట్ చేయడం వల్ల వచ్చిన కాలమ్ చేసినాం ఇప్పుడు మనం. సో గ్రూప్ చేసినాం కాబట్టి మిగతా వెళ్ళిపోయినాయి. Because you are saying to show only that 2 columns, the address line and ఇది. The query style అదే కదా. When we group you need to query, see select address line ID, sum of this one, group by address line ID.
Okay.
This is the previous query. Subquery lo previous query undi. Okay. All the other steps. Okay. So this is how we group, right? మనం గ్రూప్ అన్నప్పుడు ఏంటి, దట్స్ వాట్ ఇట్. అందుకే దీని అవుట్పుట్ ఏమొస్తుంది, 2 కాలమ్స్ ఉంటాయి కదా. అందుకే ఇమీడియట్లీ ఆఫ్టర్ దట్ స్టెప్ ఏమైంది, నీకు 2 కాలమ్స్ ఉన్నాయి చూడు. అట్లా ఇది చేసిన అనుకో, దెన్ మళ్ళీ అన్ని కాలమ్స్ వస్తాయి. Okay. So, and another thing is, we just have 4 or 5 minutes. Let me show you this. This is interesting. So, okay, let's go with some table which doesn't have any changes. Okay. So, data discovery and data quality ante basically we want to know the statistics on this table. Okay. For example, ఈ టేబుల్లో ఎన్ని నల్స్ ఉన్నాయి, ఎన్ని డిస్టింక్ట్ వాల్యూస్ ఉన్నాయి ఈ కాలంలో, అదంతా ఇట్స్ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ మనకి అబౌట్ దట్ టేబుల్. ఓకే. సో దాట్ ఇప్పుడు దీని ఇట్ డూయింగ్ ఆటోమేటికల్లీ ఇన్ ద వ్యూ. ఇఫ్ యూ సీ కాలమ్ డిస్ట్రిబ్యూషన్, ఇఫ్ ఐ సెలెక్ట్ ఇట్, సో ఇట్ విల్ షో యూ దట్ కాలమ్ డిస్ట్రిబ్యూషన్. ఓకే. యు సీ 2 డిస్టింక్ట్ వాల్యూసే ఉన్నాయి. ఇక్కడ ఏం చూస్తుంది నీకు, ఇక్కడ నా పాయింట్ ఎక్కడ ఉంది, అక్కడ 2 డిస్టింక్ట్ వాల్యూసే ఉన్నాయి. ఒకటి మెయిన్ ఆఫీస్, ఇంకోటి ఏదో ఉంది. ఆ డిస్ట్రిబ్యూషన్ ఇట్లా ఉంది. ఓకే. ఇఫ్ యు సీ ద బార్ గ్రాఫ్ హియర్. ఓకే. యా దిస్ ఇస్ ఇన్సైడ్ ఫర్ us, రైట్? ఇఫ్ యు సీ మోడిఫైడ్ డేటా, దిస్ ఇస్ డిస్ట్రిబ్యూషన్. 25 డిస్టింక్ట్ వాల్యూస్ ఉన్నాయి. ఓకే. ఓకే. సో ఇన్ ద సేమ్ వే కాలమ్ ప్రొఫైల్, లెట్ మీ select the column profile. కాలమ్ ప్రొఫైల్ అంటే ఇప్పుడు చూడు, కాలమ్ స్టాటిస్టిక్స్ చూస్తుంది ఇక్కడ నీకు. ఎన్ని కౌంట్ ఉంది, ఎంటీ ఎంత ఉంది, డిస్టింక్ట్ ఏంది, అవంతా. ఓకే. సో కాలమ్ క్వాలిటీ, దట్ ఈస్ ఆల్సో షోయింగ్ సమ్ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ ఎంటీస్ ఎన్ని ఉన్నాయి, ఎక్సెట్రా ఎక్సెట్రా. దిస్ ఇస్ ఆల్ అనాలిసిస్ ఆన్ ద డేటా ఇట్స్. దీన్ని ఏమంటారంటే డేటా ప్రొఫైలింగ్ అంటారు. యాక్చువల్లీ డేటా ప్రొఫైలింగ్ ఈస్ ఏ వెరీ ఇంపార్టెంట్ యాక్టివిటీ ఫర్ ఎనీ అనలిస్ట్ టు అండర్స్టాండ్ ద నేచర్ ఆఫ్ ద డేటా. ఓకే. సో ఇది మనకి చూస్తుంది ఏది, షిప్పింగ్ అని, మెయిన్ ఆఫీస్ అని. ఫస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ఆల్ ఇందులో 2 వాల్యూస్ ఉన్నాయంటే దట్స్ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్, రైట్? ఓకే. 2 అడ్రస్ టైప్లే ఉన్నాయి వీళ్ళకి. ఒకటి మెయిన్ ఆఫీస్ అనే అడ్రస్ టైప్, ఒకటి షిప్పింగ్ అనే అడ్రస్ టైప్. దట్స్ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్, రైట్? దట్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ డేటా ప్రొఫైలింగ్. వీఆర్ ప్రొఫైలింగ్ ది డేటా. ఓకే. సో అండ్ దెన్ monospace is just how you see. Okay, formula bar you can remove and you can create. Okay. And that's it. This is important. And there is a query dependency here. What it will show is, you see, from this database, these 4 tables, you have got it here. Okay. So when you create a new query on top of this and do some kind of modification step, it will show that pathways also. When if you join these 2 tables and create another table, that will also it will show. So this will give us the dependencies of the query. So this query has to be run first, and then the next query has to run. If I'm making use of this query, for example, in the source here, I can give that now the source is going to SQL database like this, but I could have given this also as a source, right? Something like that. Any questions until here? No? Okay. So there are now hell lot of options. We can explore all the options. But even before we explore the option, or if you want to explore the option, I want you to understand the big picture. Understanding the big picture is good enough in most of the times. Why? Because the details you get into when you actually want to work on it, when you actually need it. Okay. So what is the big picture here basically? Can anyone tell in 2 lines regarding this Power Query?
చెప్పని
అది వెళ్ళిపోయింది. నువ్వు చెప్పు.
Okay. The bigger picture is understanding the data, basically. Like what are we what data we are based on the కాదా?
నీ పొందా
Ah,
ప్రాసెసింగ్ ప్రీ ప్రాసెసింగ్ చేస్తాను కదా. అండర్స్టాండింగ్ ఈజ్ ఓన్లీ ద ప్రొఫైలింగ్ మాత్రమే అండర్స్టాండింగ్ వచ్చింది, రైట్? ప్రొఫైలింగ్.
అవును. నువ్వు అది కదా
ఓకే.
అడిగింది.
అని నేను కంప్లీట్ పవర్ క్వెరీ గురించి అడుగుతున్నాను. As a ending lines of the class, I'm asking this. Okay, so if you are telling about the profiling, that's correct. Understanding the data.
Okay.
But as a whole, this class subject, Power Query, tell me what is the Power Query actually doing? That big picture I'm saying.
Scale a query in the table form.
So you are pre-processing the data, and there is a good word, right? Everyone is prepare the data. ఓకే. సో మనం ఇప్పుడు వంట వండుకుంటున్నాం అనుకో, బిర్యానీ చేస్తున్నాం అనుకో, టమాటాలు కట్ చేసుకొని పెట్టుకున్నాం, ఉల్లిగడ్డలు కట్ చేసుకొని పెట్టుకున్నాం, మసాలా ఫ్రై చేసుకున్నాం, రైట్? దట్ ఈస్ వాట్ దిస్ ఈస్ డూయింగ్. యు ఆర్ ప్రిపేరింగ్ ద డేటా. ఆ తర్వాత ఆ ఉల్లిగడ్డలు, టమాటాలు, రైస్ అదంతా పెట్టి చేస్తున్న విషయం, దట్ ఈస్ యువర్ యాక్చువల్ ప్రాసెస్. అండ్ దెన్ ఫైనల్ గా బిర్యానీ వచ్చింది, దట్ ఈస్ యువర్ రిపోర్ట్. So this Power Query is you are preparing the data. So in the end, once you have a end-to-end idea of how to create a report, how to make a relation, then you get understanding of what you want to do here, basically preparation. So నీకు మసాలా ఫ్యూచర్ లాస్ట్ లో వేయడానికి కావాలని తెలిసింది కాబట్టి ఇక్కడ మసాలా దంచుకొని పెట్టుకున్నాం. ఓకే. ప్రీ ప్రాసెసింగ్ లో ఒక ఇన్ఫినైట్ స్టెప్స్ ఉండొచ్చు, బట్ వాట్ యు డూ హియర్ అనేది డిపెండింగ్ ఆన్ యువర్ ఎక్స్పెక్టేషన్ అట్ టాప్ లెవెల్స్. ఓకే. ఎగ్జాక్ట్లీ. సో ఆ వ్యూ పాయింట్ నీకు ఉంది కాబట్టి, సో నేను అక్కడ ఎందుకు స్ప్రెడ్ చేసిన అడ్రస్ ని, కంట్రీకి, సిటీకి, నాకు ఆల్రెడీ ఒక ఐడియా ఉంది, నాకు సిటీ వైజ్ సేల్స్ కావాలి, కానీ సిటీ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ ఇక్కడ లేదు, అందుకే స్ప్రెడ్ చేసిన. ఓకే. వై? బికాస్ యూ వాంట్ దట్ బిర్యానీ ఎగ్ కావాలని ఉంది బిర్యానీలో, అందుకు నువ్వు ఎగ్స్ ఉడకబెట్టుకున్నావు ఇక్కడ ఫస్ట్. ఓకే. సో దిస్ ఈస్ ప్రిపేర్ ద డేటా, ప్రీ ప్రాసెసింగ్. దాట్స్ వాట్ యువర్ ట్రైయింగ్ టు డూ ఇన్ ద పవర్ క్వెరీ. అందుకే నేనేం చెప్పిన, if the database is well modeled and well designed, that's already there for you. You don't have to spend here much time. Clear?
Yeah.
Any other questions? Okay, so shall we conclude the call today? Let me stop recording.